Hello, my friends. Nice to be with you again. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Susanna.
Hi, Abram.
Today, we will be talking about a couple of different things. A bit of fun, a bit of seriousness. It should be, well, fun. So now I will hand it over to Susanna. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to be talking about Bigfoot, UFOs, Skinwalkers, and poltergeists, all based on an episode from the Netflix series Unsolved Mysteries 2022, and it's called Paranormal Rangers. I would highly recommend watching it. It's very, very good. The Navajo Rangers were formed in 1957, and in the year 2000, the Rangers picked two Rangers to be the investigators for paranormal activity on the reservation. So it starts off with Bigfoot and many sightings on the reservation of Bigfoot. It talks about a story of a woman who's in a trailer at night with her children, and someone comes. She had a deck in front, not a porch, because it was a trailer, and so there was a deck built. She heard somebody coming and walking up on the deck and then trying the doorknob, and it was locked. She got up, opened the door. She said it was Bigfoot. It turned around, walked away. She closed the door, locked it again, and for the entire night, it would come up and try the doorknob. The next morning, she went out and found a footprint that was 18 by 4 inches. So, well, let's just talk about Bigfoot for a minute, also known as Yeti and Sasquatch.
All right, thank you. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and Yeti are variations of the same being. Depending on where they exist, where they live, where they are sighted, where they are found, they will either be a Bigfoot variation, Sasquatch variation, or Yeti variation, but basically the same being. Bigfoot, let me put it this way. You have your reality, and probably you understand that within your reality there are dimensions. You can call them hidden dimensions, hidden only because you cannot see them with your physical eyes, but you can feel them. And many times what happens in your daily routine is you slip into these dimensions for just a moment in time and then slip back into your reality. This is normal. Everyone does it, including a Bigfoot. They exist in a dimension of your reality. They are dimensional beings who exist in, well, different times than you exist, not your time reference, in different times. And from time to time, their time reference will intertwine with your time reference. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and so on, and so on, and so on. When this happens, then Bigfoot appears in your reality. Then you can see, many people have seen Bigfoot. You can see them if you are lucky. And I say lucky because Bigfoot are curious beings. They are curious beings. There is no reason to fear them because they are not out to get you. They are not out to harm you or any living being. They are curious. The Bigfoot was turning the doorknob. She opened the door, the Bigfoot turned and walked away. No malice intent at all. Turning a doorknob, curious to see and to find out what was inside the trailer. When Bigfoot saw that people were in the trailer, Bigfoot, he, turned and walked away. Just being curious, this is all. When their time reference will leave, I will put it that way, your time reference, then they will be back in their own dimension of your reality. So this is what happens with Bigfoot. Many times people are camping and they hear rustling outside of their campsite or their tent. And they peek out and see a Bigfoot walking around. This is because, again, times coincide with each other and within each other. So yes, they can see Bigfoot. Bigfoot then can see them, yes. Normally, Bigfoot stay by themselves and to themselves in their own dimension of reality because their dimension is their home. This is where they are from. UFOs have been seen when Bigfoot has been seen. This is because UFOs exist in that dimension also. And when their time reference will merge with your time reference, then you will see not only the Bigfoot, but probably, most probably, UFO activity also. This is all very simple. If you can understand and think of your reality as being, and this term has been thrown around all the time, multidimensional. If you can understand that your reality is multidimensional, then you can understand that there are dimensions in your reality, multiple dimensions in your reality. And in some of those dimensions, not only Bigfoot will exist, many other species will exist also. And people have seen other species of beings, plural, in their reality from time to time because of the times coinciding with each other and within each other, blending, merging with each other. So basically, this is the story of Bigfoot. But there have been times when people have heard a wailing sound. And this is the sound that some of the Bigfoot make, some of them. Just like you whistle, you talk, you sing, the same with them. Thank you.
What about their senses? Their sense of smell, everything else?
Their sense of smell is somewhat like a dog's sense of smell, very heightened. Much more heightened than human beings' sense of smell. They can smell people from a long distance away. And when they do, they turn around, walk away, stay away from people because they don't want to have people find them and most probably kill them, shoot them, which people seem to do with beings and UFOs and things they don't understand. They try to shoot them and kill them. This is how your society functions. Now, hopefully, you people, well, I know this, you people are more creative, more sensitive. So if you see a UFO or a Bigfoot, you will probably, well, you will get excited. You will not reach for your gun. This is what too many people do, reach for their gun. When they mean no harm. Bigfoot means no harm to people. Some people say, well, Bigfoot is from an alien race. Maybe they are prisoners and the aliens dropped them off on this planet to get rid of them. No, it does not work that way. The UFOs exist in the same dimensions, plural, that Bigfoot exists in. Very simple. Thank you.
They also mentioned in the episode that during sightings, sheep have either been killed, disappeared, and some sheep where their fleece has literally been ripped off of them.
And at times, only at times, Bigfoot will do that to an animal, only at times. And they have their reasoning for doing that. Many times, UFO inhabitants do that with your animals. And that is another story. But basically, they do that with your animals to take parts to their home where they exist so that they can create a third race of being. Now, you, as a human being, and all people need animals for balance, just like you need nature for balance. They also need animals for balance, and it is from your sheep, cattle, and all the rest that they take parts when they need them. Not all the time. They take the parts back home so they can create the animals all over again in their dimension of reality, so that they can have balance also. Many alien beings have progressed beyond emotion, and they exist as and with intellect only. This is another story. But there are those alien beings who are visiting you people and inviting you aboard their craft to talk with you, examine you, and have you hold babies just to see how you emotionally interact with the baby. Nothing more than that. They are trying to understand emotions so that they can have them again, so that they can be whole, complete beings with intellect and emotion. Thank you.
Now, are skinwalkers dimensional beings also?
Absolutely.
All right. In the episode, one of the rangers, when he was younger, was driving along the highway at night, and there was a skinwalker running alongside of his car. He was explaining that skinwalkers maybe come through as looking like a man, but they are able to shapeshift into an animal like a coyote or a wolf. The one that he saw that was chasing his car, he said was like a greyhound, was running, he was going about 55 miles per hour. This animal was keeping up with him. It looked like his skin was painted white with a sponge, so it was blotchy, and the paint dried so it looked like it was cracked. Also long hair that was also painted white, canine shaped with a long snout and a lot of teeth. And they are considered by the Navajo as dangerous and out to do harm.
There are many variations of beings, human and otherwise, out in your universe. Most of the beings are benevolent, meaning no harm. Some of them are malevolent, meaning harm. When your people began, you knew of, and they knew of, only protecting themselves from other people. Still is the same way, the same thing today in your time. But we will go back in time. So they were harming other people and animals alike to protect themselves. The same with the skinwalkers. They are not friendly. Should you see one, which most likely you will never see one, but should you see one, get away. They will hurt you. They will attack you because you are a threat to them. Why? There is no reasoning for that. Just because this is the way they operate, they think, and they exist. Very simple. Thank you.
Thank you, Abram.
Absolutely.
There was another part in the episode where this particular ranger and I think 3 other people were investigating a government building on the reservation that was built in the 1930s that had also once been a morgue. And people were reporting things flying through the air. A woman was receiving telephone calls and there was no answer. The phone company could not find where the calls originated from. So they were doing their investigation, and during the night, quarters began appearing out of thin air and dropping on the floor, some dropping or hitting the investigators, and all of the quarters would end up heads up. Now, when they were finished investigating the building, the main investigator was having the same phenomenon happen in his home, where quarters would just appear out of air. Some would hit him. A friend of his came over. I think there were 5 quarters that hit this man over the head. They just seemed to appear out of nowhere, and they all ended up with the heads up. All in all, there were 65 quarters, which the investigator saved. Now, you and I talked about this before.
Yes.
And it was pretty interesting where the quarters came from.
Yes.
So would you like to explain that again?
You have a morgue. You have a house. They are both haunted. Very good television show, The Haunted Morgue, The Haunted House. But this is what happens. When people die, sometimes they stay around. They do not move on. And as they stay around, it seems as though they haunt the building, the morgue, or the house. They are not haunting anything. They are just trying to get along by themselves, to understand their new life. But they want to communicate with physical people, with you. And they can communicate in many different ways. Turning on and off lights, because they manipulate the energy. They use the energy to create things like quarters and other things that seem to fall from the air. It seems that way. It seems that they fall from the air. They are produced by energy, but there is no air that they fall from. They fall from other dimensions, the dimension that the spirit or ghost is in. Then they fall into your reality. All heads up, all heads up. Could mean many things. Could mean heads up, I am here, watch out. Or it could mean, let us communicate on another level with intelligence. This is the heads up, with intelligence. Let me say one thing. With all of this taking place, if people now, present people, could live by the Navajo and Hopi ways of life, this planet would be much happier, and people would be much happier also. Thank you.
So true. Now, those quarters, will they eventually disappear?
They have to, because they are nothing more than energy, yes.
And when people talk about spirits, ghosts, poltergeists, it's all the same thing, right? Spirit is spirit.
Spirit, ghost, energy essence, me, all the same thing. All the same thing. Energy beings, energy essences, all the same thing. People will interpret them in different ways based upon what they need to understand at any given point in time. Well, there's a plate flying through the air, a coffee cup flying through the air, must be a poltergeist. It could just be that energies in your reality have not aligned themselves with the structure of your reality. Therefore, things appear to fly and crash on the walls and on the ground until the energies finally find their place in your reality. Thank you.
Interesting.
Life is interesting. Energy is interesting.
It absolutely is.
Ghosts are interesting. Spirits are interesting. You people are interesting. Everything and everyone is interesting. If you look at everything and everyone that way, you will have a nicer time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have anything else to say? Because I'm finished.
I would suggest strongly that you people find the time to really study the Navajo and Hopi ways of life and hopefully adopt many of them into your life and lifestyle. You would be able to live a completely different life. Because their ways are all about respecting not only each other, not only nature, but the planet. Because the planet, as you probably know, is a living being. It needs to be taken care of. Stop mistreating it. Do your part in taking care of your planet Earth. Plant a tree, plant a bush, walk in nature, talk to nature, talk to your Earth. Good morning, Earth. How are you today? I understand you have emotions. I do too. Let us love each other for a while. Might be a good thing. Try it out. See what it gets you. Thank you. I've enjoyed being with you. This has been fun for me. But then again, they are all fun for me. Susanna, thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Change your thinking a bit. And you know what I mean. And we will see you again. Thank you.